Welcome back, y'all. All right, so I'm going to do a pick a card reading. This time around is going to be past life related. All right. So, whatever is going on in your current life, there's something in your past life that occurred that is the reasoning behind what you're experiencing right now. Okay. And based off of that, I made this topic for you guys. All right. To see what past life contract, past life relationships, past life karmic debt could possibly be impacting you at this time, and the similarities of what happened in the past. You know how like people like to say history repeats itself, right? What is bleeding into your current reality now that has something to do with a past life situation of yours. Okay, so we have two piles right here. We have pile one, just saw angel number one. Okay, pile one, and then pile two right here. Okay, you can choose both piles if you want to, but go ahead and choose from pile one or pile two. All right, and then we'll get started. Okay, so pile one, we have the ships. Authority figures, mother, unrequited love, transportation, and that was in the reverse. Okay. Karmic relationship, and that was in the reverse. Phobias, and that was in the reverse. And food and hunger. Okay. So for your pile, you had a lot of angel numbers. You had angel number 111, 122, and as well as 222. Okay. So your angel numbers have something like they've been following you since the past life. Okay. You've been spiritually inclined since the past life. Period. You've been spiritually protected and guided since the past life. All right. You are the pile that whatever mother you have or gave birth to you, okay, in this life was your mother in the past life. Any phobias you had in the past life has nothing to do with the phobias that you do have in this life. And phobias are just like, could come off as pet peeves, but it could also come off as like fear of things, okay? In this life, you could have mastered the things that you were afraid of in the past life, all right? With the karmic relationship in the reverse, that gives the energy of if you had a karmic relationship in the past life, the one that you have in this life is not the same, it's not similar. They don't have anything to do with one another, okay? If you have issues with transportation in this life, it could have definitely followed you from the past life. So let's say you never got to move out of a country, or you never got to move out of a state or a city or a region or a zip code for that matter. In this life, it could also be occurring for you, or there could be stagnancies there in terms of where you're traveling. Now, with the ships here, you definitely, in a past life, you definitely did go across sea, all right, at some point in time. For very few of you, there could have been a situation where pirate ships could be significant, okay? Authority figures is here under karmic relationships. So you guys could have had issues with the law, basically being a law-abiding citizen, okay? So this could be issues in regards to not following the law, having issues with cops, having issues with legal matters, okay? And that could have followed you from the past life. With the food and hunger, if you're having issues in this life in regards to this is like eating habits, okay, like overeating or undereating, that could be because of the past life, All right. So this is like extremism. So this is like overeating to the max, stuffing your face until you're full, or under eating, not eating at all, fasting, starving yourself, and that's because of scarcity that could have happened in the past life. We have unrequited love here. You could have definitely experienced unrequited love from your mother in the past life, and that could also blend into this life as well. You could have also had an unrequited love situation with a romantic partner where you poured in more love and affection to that person than that person poured into you. Okay. But at this time right now, if you guys are asking, oh, is a karmic relationship or something like that coming from the past for me? Is this said person that I'm with a karmic partner? And is that, karma coming from a past life situation or just a past life in general? The answer is no. Okay, let's get some more information with tarot. All right, let's clarify the mother figure energy. Clarify the mother figure energy. All right. If you are a mother, okay, this is another thing I'm seeing. If you are a mother and you're watching this, your children are the children that you gave birth to in the past life, okay? Especially if it's a boy and a girl, okay? Let's see what's going on here. And they came together. Clarify the ships. What do they need to know in regards to the ships? What do they need to know in regards to the ships? All right, we have the Four of Swords. Travel for you in regards to that ship energy, all right, was premeditated. You always are very reflective in regards to even getting on a body of water for whatever reason. For some of you guys, it's hard to speak about in regards to water. Maybe water is a phobia for you. Really just depends, all right, on your situation. But you contemplate a lot in this life on whether or not you want to travel, or you want to get on a cruise, or you want to go across sea or something like that, okay? Clarify transportation. We have the Five of Wands. Just clarifying again, issues with transportation, issues with vehicles, issues with getting from one place to another, okay? That comes from your past life, right? Like only certain people were able to get, on the train. Only certain people were able to drive cars, right? Only certain people were able to go across state lines and stuff like that, right? So like that's where that challenge comes from in this life. It can show up in certain ways for you. Like sometimes you have situations that happen with your vehicle and you can't go to a certain location, but that comes from something that happened in the past life. Let's clarify what is that from the past life that's now bleeding in terms of transportation. And then we have the Hermit. Discovery, spiritual discovery. You're supposed to go spiritually to certain destinations, and other places you're not supposed to go. You're not supposed to be there, right? You find challenges in the places that you're supposed to learn more in. Where you have it easy is a place of rest, but you find challenges where your spiritual lessons will be, where your spiritual lessons will sit, where your spiritual teachers will be, to help you through those lessons and to help you through those adversities that you're having, okay? Clarify authority figures. What's the issues with the authority figures that could be bleeding into this life? Okay. The Four of Pentacles. Okay. So this is in regards to valuables. All right. The valuables that you have, that you possess, your assets. So when we talk about legalities, when we talk about your possessions, right? So you could have issues with confiscation, people taking what's yours, all right? Um, Taking what is valuable of yours with the ships here, not allowing you to move, right, in the direction that you want to move. Clarify that a little bit more with that Four of Coins for authority figures. This is wealth. Have issues with wealth because of authority figures. The Magician. Yeah. Overpowering situations. Like someone of a higher authority can mess with your assets, can play a factor of whether or not you can get a car, you can't get a car. So this is like issues when it comes to claiming what's yours, regaining what's yours, holding on to what's yours. That's coming from the past life. And how can they clear that energy and resolve that energy? Gaining your power, all right? And then we have the Hierophant here. Yeah, knowing your own ability to hold with what's yours, okay? So this is protecting your stuff. This is copywriting. This is making sure that you have the legal documentations that like this is the deed to my house. This is the title to my vehicle, like making sure that your name is on your stuff. You know what I'm saying? In order for no one else to have authority or dominion over your belongings. Okay. That's how you'll correct that. Clarify a karmic relationship. Yeah, so like nobody can control where your assets or your finances or something to do with your whatever's yours, what belongs to you, whatever's valuable to you. Somebody can't use that against you or take it from you. All right, karmic relationship. We have the Queen of Swords here. In this life, you're being taught through a different karmic relationship. It's not this karmic relationship, but there's a different karmic relationship that you have experienced, and you're learning when to distinguish whether or not someone is deceptive, someone's a liar, or someone wants something from you that will, with a double-edged sword, hurt you. Okay. So learning your boundaries. Okay. So in this life, you learn boundaries with karmic relationship. In the past life, you decided to cut ties with that karmic relationship altogether, and they did not come through in this life for you. All right. The Judgment here. So yeah, you have a brand new karmic relationship that is significant in your current life. That has nothing to do with the past life karmic relationship. Okay. Let's see what's going on here with the Mother figure. Clarify the Mother. Clarify the Mother. Thank you. All right. We have the King of Cups and we have the Seven of Cups. All right. So I'm going to say this right now. In terms of a mother figure in the past life, this mother figure could have been around. Okay. But they ended up choosing one specific partner in their life. And that specific partner could have definitely been the father figure for you, right, in this past life. But there was a lot of confusion here in regards to whether or not that that father figure chose your said mother figure, or they just settled for your mother figure, and therefore bled into the unrequited love that you had from that mother figure in the past life. And now in this life, again, because you have the same type of mother figure, because of that past life situation emotionally, that said mother figure could end up drinking or end up over consuming something that was not to their benefit. So emotionally, they were unfulfilled. Emotionally, they were disconnected because of the lack of love that they received themselves. All right. That also bleeds into your unrequited love situation as well, because whatever happens with our parents then bleeds into romance, right? So clarify that unrequited love situation. Unrequited love situation. Thank you. We have the Ten of Swords. And then we have the Knight of Swords. So yeah, it looks like in the past life you ended up choosing someone that needed to be saved. You decided to be a knight in shining armor to someone that couldn't defend themselves or couldn't fend for themselves, and they couldn't offer anything to you either. So because of the situation that you experienced with the mother figure in the past life, then led to the decisions that you made with your love life, which was unrequited love, and is now bleeding into your current life in regards to the relationships that you're allowing into your life, and have even experienced in your love life. I'm also seeing like you burn out very quickly. When it comes to conversations, you get frustrated very quickly. It's because it's hard for you to express yourself, because on a communication like level that was never taught to you, right? It was never taught to you like to express when you're happy, or to express when you feel loved, or when you feel safe, or it's like very protective energy, very defensive energy here, that comes out with the unrequited love. And so you're used to being a protector. You're not used to be the protected. Wow. Okay, so that means that you had to protect yourself in the past life as a child, because no one was protecting you when you were a child. You had to protect yourself. Clarify the phobias. Clarify the phobias. And you can see similarities. Like I said, this reading is all about knowing what happened in the past life and how it's repeating now in your current life, right? In your current timeline, and where it's actually stemming from, right? So you're going to see a lot of similarities in certain relationships that I mentioned, and certain things that pop up in your own intuition. Like if your mind starts going to a certain relationship or a certain person or a certain situation that you've been through, that's your intuition showing you things, okay? I'm not putting those images there. That's your intuition. Clarify the phobias. What is the phobias about? You know what? You know what I'm feeling here with the phobias? You guys could have a phobia of praying. A fear of praying, a fear of having your prayers answered. And that comes from your past life. Because maybe in the past life you prayed for something and it was so terrible that it actually happened. And ever since then you swore off not to pray again. Okay, hold on. We have the Temperance here. Yeah. You could have prayed for something to happen at a certain time, and it did. It happened like almost instantaneously. Clarify the phobia. Some of you guys could have a fear of what the angels actually look like. The Five of Swords. Yeah, in the past life, you spotted an angel. You actually experienced some sort of celestial encounter. And ever since that, you've been terrified of like seeing. Maybe like spiritual sight could be a fear for you. Clarify the food and hunger. Food and hunger. Food and hunger, please. What is that about? But you're real close. I'm hearing you're really close to the celestial beings. A feminine celestial being, so Archangel Uriel could be significant. Um, the sun here. So there, okay, food and hunger. With that sun energy, I will say the land was barren. The soil was very dry and there was no crops. So in the past life, it was hard to harvest vegetation and food and grains. And so you had to use the very little products that you could use to eat, right? So bread was very significant in terms of your diet. Um, mhm. In the past life, some of you guys could have been very muscular, okay, or athletic builds. That could also be the same in this life too, or you have the potential to be that way, but maybe with that food and hunger thing, you could be either on the obesity side or the very thin side. Okay, so there's like no in between. I'm saying there's no in between for you guys. So either like you're really fit or like you're really fat. I'm sorry. It's a good thing. Like it's a good thing to know what's the real situation that's happening. So obesity or being athletic though could be significant here. Clarify the food and hunger. The King of Wands. Okay. Yeah. I feel like it was hard to even see like food. Like if there was food, it was in your mouth and that's it, there was no, like nowadays, like we can stock up our food in the pantry and the refrigerator and a deep freezer and stuff like that, right? But back then that was not the truth for you in your life, right? And whenever you did see this masculine figure in your life, father figure, they were either out going to get the food or out being able to provide, financially for the food. Or when they did come, they came drinking, okay? Or they came to feast, right? So I feel like there was long periods of time where there was no food, and then when the food was there, you guys would feast. So that's probably another cycle or parallel that you can see from the past life and this life for you guys as well. So I feel like you guys get your charming nature, your loving, kind selves from how you were raised in your past life. But you also get this because this contemplation type of thing, very quiet, very selective on what you say to people or selective on how you react. Like it will be a problem if I'm not alone type thing. That comes from your past life. Okay. But romantically, the unrequited thing happens. It happens more so with the mother connection. So what I would advise currently right now for you to shift things in your favor would be to work on healing the mother dynamic, okay, the mother wounds that could have happened in this life, but as well as the past life. So that way that contract then gets completed, right? Everybody has a specific contract. So if you're wondering, okay, what is really holding me back right now in terms of my past life? It is not a karmic relationship. It is the relationship with your mother that you've had since the past life. And the wounds that your mother also has that needs to be healed. Okay, so this is not just the relationship between you and your mother and the mother figure. This is your mother also has to heal too in this life. Now that itself, that's not your responsibility, but you definitely have to heal the relationship between you and your mother for you to see a requited type of energy in terms of your love life, and for you to start being a little bit more receptive in your love life instead of defensive and deflecting love away from you because of what was taught to you, right? In terms of love, right? Now, in terms of the whole phobias thing, you guys may have to look a little bit deeper in your spiritual journey for you guys to figure out like what it is, because everybody in everybody's past life, everybody's religions, right, may not be the same. So you got to kind of figure out in the past life what religion you had, because whatever that was, you have a phobia of it right now in your current life. Okay. And that was because of that celestial encounter that you had in the past life. Okay. But that's what I got for you guys for pile 1. Let me know how that resonates. And I'm going to move on to pile 2 now. All right, pile 2. Let's see what happened in your past life and how it is now paralleling in terms of what's happening in your current life. Okay. We have Atlantis, communal living, Asia, Egypt, persecution and inquisition was in the reverse, Greco or Roman, Greece, Rome, in the reverse, finances, and imprisonment. Okay. So I will say for you guys that imprisonment or slavery, you could definitely be a reincarnated slave or a reincarnated prisoner. Okay, so in this life, that can come out as issues with, actually doing time, actually either going to prison or going to jail. Okay, could be significant for you guys. So at some point in time, you could have actually been behind bars in this life, okay, for whatever reason, even if it's a short period of time. That's where that came from, okay, that past life situation, right? Finances is here, so that means that in your past life, you had a lot of wealth, okay? So in this life, you are destined to have a lot of wealth. Your wealth could have came from Egypt, all right, could have came from Asia. In one life, you definitely were somewhere in Rome, but you were not Roman, okay? That's how I take that, all right? In the past life, you could have been persecuted, but in this life, I don't think that that is something that is occurring right now, right? You could have Atlantis connections, all right, connected to the ocean, all right, as well. So there's dolphins there. I want to get some more information. Communal living. Whenever I get communal living, that is the energy of, okay, you are used to living with other people. You have never lived by yourself, all right? Meaning on your own, no one else in the building but you, okay? So that can also come out in your current reality as well. Clarify Atlantis. What do they need to know in regards to Atlantis? What do they need to know in regards to Atlantis? What do they need to know in regards to Atlantis? really need to know in regards to Atlantis? The Two of Cups. All right. That came out in the reverse. So you were separated from Atlantis, okay, before the fall of Atlantis. So, which is interesting because, like, I'm wondering how this is. Yeah, you were one of the strongest warriors in Atlantis. All right, the Four of Swords is here. I do feel, yeah, the Seven of Swords. Yeah, you were one of the, okay, so you were in the war. Like you were fighting for Atlantis. Somehow, some which way. So then maybe you were a soldier, or maybe you were a guard, something of that nature, okay? In regards to Atlantis, you hold spiritual energy from Atlantis, like you are an Atlantean, and you are supposed to protect the knowledge of Atlantis, all right? So you guys could definitely be connected to that. Yeah. Clarify communal living. What is communal living? Someone could have had like a monk lifestyle. We have the 10 of Cups. Communal living with family, okay? So you live with more family. Like, you ever seen like those really big buildings and you'll have like, you have the mother and the father and the grandmother and the grandfather and the aunt and the uncle and the great-great-grandmother there, like all together in one little community. Like, that's what I'm seeing here. So, and living in peace and too, because the peace sign is there, right? So little to no arguments or disagreements or anything of that nature. A lot of prayer happened as well for the family in these communal places that you lived in. The Ace of Cups, you were married, you had a soulmate there too, okay? So you and your children and your sisters and brothers' children and your mother and your father, things of that nature, right? All right, clarify the imprisonment or slavery situation. The imprisonment or slavery situation, what's that about? All right, we have the 9 of Coins. All right, so I will say that some of you guys had to pay. You had to do manual labor as a slave. All right, you were a reincarnation of a slave that gained its independence. Okay, financially. We have the King of Cups here, came out in the reverse. Clarify the imprisonment. All right, we have the King of Swords. Yeah, I do feel like it was you and someone else that ended up getting free in that situation. You were both bound to like the same, confirmation. You were both bound to the same slave owner, okay? One of you was knowledgeable. So one of you got a chance to read and the other of you, so I'm wondering if you guys were brothers, something about brothers, okay? So if you have a brother, you and your brother gain independence from slavery, okay? From the slave master. And some of you guys could have went to jail because of your said independence, because they wanted you to pay or something like that. Yeah. The Ace of Coins and the 6 of Coins in the reverse. It's almost like someone took their word back. like, yeah, I'm going to give you your papers, and then they decided to take it back, and then called the cops on you. Yeah, the hangman. In the past life, some of you guys could have, when it comes to slavery days, some of you could have suffered a lynching, or your brother could have suffered a lynching because of these set papers being taken back. Okay. Clarify finances. Clarify finances. Some of you guys could have served time because you didn't have your papers. We have the moon. So there's certain finances from your past life that you are actually not aware of that came through marriage. Okay. That's another thing I'm seeing. Clarify finances. So there's hidden finances for you from your past life in your spiritual bank account. Okay. And then we have the Eight of Cups. Yeah, there's finances that you've left in the past life that can be reclaimed, but you have no idea on how to do this. You have the Six of Wands. You could definitely reclaim this somehow, all right? Okay, so some of you guys looking now in this life, that means looking down your, what is that? Your family tree. You may be able to gain some sort of riches by looking down your family tree. Clarify Egypt. Clarify Egypt. Yeah, so if you guys find yourself, Magician. If you guys find yourself moving around a lot, or wanting to like visit Asia, or wanting to visit Egypt, or wanting to visit like big temples, something about temples, right? Like Mayan temples or something like that. That's because your past life you were there, and perhaps there's some sort of knowledge that is going to upload, right? Well, if you visit there, if you go there, right? Like you'll gain some of your power back by just visiting these places. Clarify Egypt. Like you have a really strong connection to Egypt or Asia or Asian culture. Or Asian, what is that? Religion, Egyptian religion, Egyptian architects or something like that, right? Yeah, you have some sort of passion to go to these places. Anything else here? The Star, yeah. It could be a wish of yours to want to go to these places, to see these places, right? 10 of Coins to finish off your reading. You definitely do have some sort of past life money that can bleed into this life. Six of Cups, past energy, past life. All right. You should definitely get a personal reading on that to get more details. Okay. But this is what I got for you guys. Comment down below. Let me know how that resonates. Peace.